It just don't make no sense. Anyway, fuck it. Wait, maybe we're just gonna have to do without the chat box for now.
Refresh the browser source in OBS? Maybe?
But that's okay. Life goes on.
I need to get a different video synth color. I'm
so
tired of the blue, folks.
I haven't actually
Tired of
tested
the blue.
the acs1 at all. But yeah, I refreshed it, Andy, and
Red? No.
refreshed the cache, all that good stuff. But it's still annoying the shit out of me for some reason. So
What do I want
know, Chief.
color-wise right now?
it sounds like a me problem right now. But anyway, let me adjust.
None of these
guys
colors look
real
good to me.
quick
Maybe
so I can
purple.
talk facing the
Purple.
board. So
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't. Let me just turn microcosm off for a second.
Streamlabs.
Yeah, so I haven't messed with the acs1 yet at all. Just plugged it in and kind of hit start streaming because I want this to be fresh and not exactly unbiased, but you know what I mean? Like, I guess. Hold on, why is my microphone so loose? Today, everything is just going wrong. That's alright, okay, because life goes on. Anyway, yeah, I kind of want it to be not unbiased, but kind of fresh like you guys.
Fresh.
Unless you own the acs1.
Fresh.
But anyway, so I'm gonna turn. Let me actually turn off Cab Zeus real quick at the end of the chain.
Oh yeah, turn that. You can't have that on. Yeah, turn that shit off.
So, guitar tone going straight through.
Friendship ended with Cabsies.
Guess without the acs1. Nice and sharp. Clearly something's clipping. So I want to figure out what that clipping is as well, but nice. Then with the acs1 on.
Oh, he had it off. Okay. I was like, that doesn't sound that great. And it was off. Okay. Whew.
Ooh.
Too bad we can't call it the acs1 because it actually sounds good. What's the video synth software? Yours are. This is called synesthesia.
Dream, I don't know.
Right here. Synesthesia is what it is.
Louder a bit. Is that too loud or is that good?
Good. So Aaron's moving from not even having a
So you know, like just for comparison, without the acs1,
like an amp sound, he was just doing a cab filter, which is just an EQ curve to emulate a cab, but now the acs1 is effectively doing amp and cab, obviously.
and then with it,
Where is it in the chain?
I actually really missed that kind of bite you get from the sound of an amp or like an actual amp sim.
Yeah, because he hasn't had that.
So basically my chain right now is, I'm running it in mono, which is a bit of a waste, but right now. So we're going compressor, pitchfork, preamp, acs1.
Oh, so he's got
right
it
now.
early. Interesting. That's really interesting.
basically the plan is to have like the guitar board, like signal chain, done at the start. And so what I can do is loop something in blooper, for example, and then I can switch basically I can switch from the acs1 to something like, or sorry, from a guitar to like a synth and run that into the board at the same time, and I don't have to worry about the synth being processed by the like the fake amp sims and stuff.
Right. Because you don't
like I used
want that
to when
normally.
I had the cab Zeus at the end of the chain, because I could turn the preamp off, but turning the preamp at the start of the chain off didn't actually turn the cab sim off, which had the most
Home of Echoes. So that's
issues.
That's actually an OBS plugin. Hey, there's Walrus Audio in his chat. Awesome. There's Philip. Good on you, Philip. Home of Echoes.
Yo, Walrus, what's up?
So that's just a OBS plugin called Move Transition. So you've got there's all kinds of transitions in OBS, just like fades and cuts and whatever, but this one basically between two scenes, if it determines that two elements of the scene are the same, it will do that move and zoom. Yeah, so that's what's doing this. Like the reason that zoomed there is because I just moved to a different scene that has the same elements. So the pedal board, my camera, chat, and this header thing up there are the same elements of this other scene here, just at different sizes. So that the transition plugin takes care of that. It's the move transition.
Because right now you guys don't care what's actually.
Ken, we're just watching. Aaron just started streaming and he just got the acs1. So we're watching his like real-time reaction to playing it the first time, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, the move transition is really nice.
Walrus, thank you for being here. Whoever from Walrus is hanging out in stream, thanks a million.
When do you get mine? So mine should be here soon. I have tracking for it, but because of the weather in Oklahoma,
to getting one of these things just
I have a shipment exception. So scheduled delivery is pending.
Actually,
so it's on its way to me.
Just Andy, but also Jeremy Griffith, because he had just got one and he basically was,
Jeremy loves it.
Just hit him up a few times.
Oh, so Ken, I don't know. Said, I'm officially getting at this time the acs1, like, yeah, it's like the greatest thing I've ever used. Slova, whatever, and the Juliana.
That's what we're gonna do. Let me just turn down.
I think that's it for right now. Those are the three that are coming.
So you can see.
The slow V2, yeah. So I'll be able to do some stereo vibrato and chorus, which will be really interesting to mess with. I was thinking about maybe putting it after the microcosm. Ooh, your Raster 2 is out for delivery. Awesome. Ken, when's the last time you streamed? Seems like you have new stuff to mess with on stream if you wanted to. Aaron's getting the shot just right. Shouts out. Oh, Fullerton, London, Dartford. I see how they do it.
I think I have OCD when it comes to camera angles. Anyway.
Gotcha, Ken. I mean, you're talking about this gear you're getting. It makes me want to hear it.
Let's figure this thing out, shall we? Everything is going wrong today.
Our table.
Thank you, Craig, as always.
Craig, good job.
So I'm actually going to stand up and play for this so I can stand up and overlook or look over the board. So
change my title since we're not mixing right now.
Just gonna set everything to 12 o'clock for now.
Yeah, Aaron's standing up and playing chords and notes? What is
Man,
this?
that sounds so good.
This ain't ambient. Standing up? Playing notes on the guitar? What the? This guy's sold out. Can't believe it. So this is just everything at noon. Hell yeah, Jeremy. Aaron was
Just for context,
maybe you're
again,
watching, but he was just shouting you out.
The acs1.
It would be interesting to have. Well, it's interesting that he has it this early in his chain, but there would be more of a tonal difference if he put it later, because it would be affecting more things, obviously. Next thing you know, he'll be hitting switches with his feet. Yeah, I know, crazy. Yeah, he said he just, since we've been talking about it so much, he just went out and bought one, basically. Yeah. I always leave the room knob down on my iridium.
And so right now we are using the...
You're all good, Mark.
We're using the London amp, which is a 19.
Jeremy, do you run it in stereo or mono? The acs1. And is the reverb in stereo when you run the pedal in stereo? It probably is for the iridium too. I just never run it in stereo. Yeah, I imagine it is too. It'd be kind of weird if it's not. Okay, it is. Alright.
I'm just gonna turn off my end of chain reverb.
Yeah. Yeah, let us
delay just so you guys can get an idea for what the room control does.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That feels better than the iridiums, to be honest. That doesn't sound like it would muddy stuff up too much. I mean, that's at max, like that feels good.
That's just the one pedal. I love the ability to be able to add the room presence to the mix.
Joel, well, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I've heard multiple people, Jeremy being one of them, who say
this is what we end up with.
That they like the cleans on the iridium better than iridium. Or what? The cleans on the acs1 better than the iridium. Yeah, Ken said that as well. So I'm curious to try it because I do like using the iridium to saturate stuff, you know?
Also for those interested,
like cranking up the gain.
Mono right now.
So I'd be curious to test out how the clean sounds compared to the iridium versus how the distortion sounds, dude. Because I like it. I know I've said this a million times. Like, yeah, it's an amp sim. It's doing some filtering and stuff, but I see it as like a EQ and a saturator more than an amp, you know. Is acs1 capable of summing down to mono? That's a good question. So like, could you run 2 amps left and right and then sum them and come out mono? That's a good question.
Let me tone down our.
What about how does this pedal do when you like really goose it on the input? Like, say if Aaron cranked up the volume on his preamp and just like hit the front of the acs1 really hard, would it get pretty overdriven and distorted?
I love that gain.
Like, is it a headroom thing? If you just slam it, will it get dirty? You just gonna check right now, Ken? Can't it run at 18 volts? I'm not sure. If it does run at 18 volts, then that would seem to imply that it has, you know, headroom to work with, and that it could be overdriven. Yeah, Ken, just crank the don't crank the gain on the fault, but just slam it with volume.
So this is a big
and see what
overdriven
happens.
sound from the Chase Bliss preamp.
Okay, he's doing like kind of what I wanted. Although I'm more interested in hitting it with volume and not gain and seeing what happens. Is that gain on the pedal all the way up or all the way down right there? I feel like it's all the way up. Jeremy says it's very low gain. Yeah, I'm just wondering about its reactivity though.
My signal might be a bit muddy going in. Let's use the tone shaping controls.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard what I was just saying, Jeremy, but like
that bass just a small bit.
One of the things I like about the iridium is just like distorting it, really slamming it, you know? I'm curious if I'd be able to do that with this too.
And of course the treble.
Okay. I love how folks like me and Aaron just can't. Like he turned his stereo delays and reverbs off for a little bit, but then eventually you're just like, I need to turn that stuff back on. I'll do it home with echoes. I'll throw them both on the board and we'll see what's up once it gets here. I should be hopefully getting it this week. The package is in FedEx possession. But first, here's my clean time.
I feel like, you know, for the last year, well, I've used just the preamp and the
cabs use.
The cab sim at the end of chain.
I know, totally, Philip. Well, we had it bad here
like
too, so like that makes sense.
Doing everything in my power to recreate what the P90s should sound like, you know?
I'd be curious with his preamp off too, just,
you know,
just
so for
the
example,
ACS1.
Without the ACS1, this is kind of my my overdriven tone. Which sounds terrible.
Yeah.
And then so I like made this sound preset on the preamp.
Oh, it stays clean, Ken? Okay, that's interesting.
Which was like my attempt at trying to get that classic P90 sound.
So it stays really clean.
I was just trying too hard with just the cab sim.
It could be a cool mix then with like the
enough
XS, with like the insane
an amp,
rat distortion that's on the XS. It could be a good platform because maybe instead of saturating there, you can allow it to receive more saturated signals as layers going through it, you know? Sounds like we just need both. Yep. I think you're right, Ken. Or Greg, sorry. I'll put them both in a signal blender. It'll be signal blender with ACS1 and iridium. That would be pretty sick actually. Except then you couldn't do stereo. I don't know. Quad amp setup. Yeah, actually you could do signal blender and then stereo out of both those. Yeah.
With them cuts. Oh yeah.
Oh no, now I want to do that. Yep. Has he been
Let me see
on?
if I
He's
can
been on
find
that
just
amp the whole time, right? The
sound
London
I'm
one.
looking for with
Is
this
that
stuff.
supposed to be a Marshall? Is London Marshall? Fullerton is Fender, and I don't actually know what Dartford is. Oh, the Blues Breaker. And is it similar, like, if you switch through the cabs, it's like different actual cab IRs? Oh, here we go. Fullerton is inspired by the classically bright and clear Fender Deluxe Reverb. Crisping tones, lots of headroom. London is inspired by Blues Breaker, harmonically rich valve-driven breakup. Okay.
I love this so much.
Oh, and Dartford is AC30. Okay, gotcha.
So
I
I'm pretty
gotcha.
happy with like maybe a bit more gain, kind of like here where it's got some bite. Obviously, you want to attenuate your volume and gain knobs. This stream has significantly more blues licks in it. I'm sorry, everybody.
It sounds really good. I'd be curious to hear. I'd be curious to hear the Fender.
Okay, let's try one of the other amp models.
Fender? Aaron? Give us a Fender.
Great for blues gigs.
Yeah, it would
for
be
sure.
great.
That's
Yeah,
why
for
we made
sure.
it.
That's why they made it.
So this one here is Fullerton.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. No, I definitely see that, Jeremy. More focused. See, this, maybe just my preference with his guitar, but this feels like a more natural.
And this one sounds like it's got a bit more high mids and a bit more high presence to it.
Yeah, it sounds like a more natural setting for me.
Again, let's crank that gain.
Yeah, it stays clean up there, huh? But it has a nice bite. I know, Jazz Mastering Deluxe Reverb. Has full MIDI jacks up top. Okay.
I actually can't believe that this is a cab sim
The
pedal.
cool-
An amp
it's
and
funny
cab
that I don't-
sim
well,
pedal.
Maybe you guys will think I'm weird for this or not, but when I hear that a pedal like this is MIDI controllable, the first thing I want to do is ramp the volume. Like, you know how I use the preamp as a gate for the stuff? It's like, oh, the acs1 could then be another place to cut audio out, you know?
Just gonna put it something like a
And it's just it's 5-pin MIDI, because that would be great. As annoying as that jack is, it's way easier to just have 5-pin MIDI with everything. That's cool. Yeah. Because then you can just daisy chain everything together and put them on different channels and you're good to go. There's no MIDI on Iridium, huh? Yeah, exactly, Sliver Slugs, modulated LFO. But there's no MIDI on Iridium, right? MIDI Iridium?
I actually can't believe it
Midi-
sounds.
Meridium? MIDI... Irmidium.
Also, I
Irmidium.
can't remember off the top of my head what amp the Fullerton is meant to be
Someone tell him,
an
Deluxe
IR
Reverb.
of. If somebody in the chat
Deluxe
knows, wants
Reverb.
to remind me, that would be great.
You can use MIDI on Iridium. Oh, via expression. Okay. So I'd have to go.
Also, Nevi66, thank you for the 100 bits.
And does that mean it can do MIDI via TRS? Is that what it means? Yeah. Okay. Well, so that's cool. Except for the fact, like, all right. Like if I wanted to hook Iridium up to MIDI right now, I would have to get. Well, I wouldn't be able to use my Chase Bliss MIDI box, I don't think, I would have to get my disaster area thing involved, Digi. That's right. So then I'd have to go MIDI into the disaster area, 5-pin, and then TRS out of it into the iridium, but then 5-pin out of that to then daisy chain with the other stuff. But with the potential with the ACS1 would be, I could literally just take a cable and go from my microcosm to the ACS1, and then I would be in. I don't like, that sounds way better. Like right now, to control CXM and microcosm, I just have USB MIDI here. You see this? So USB cable, 5-pin MIDI cable, out. And then that goes into the CXM, and then it goes out of the CXM in the microcosm, and then it goes out of microcosm potentially into ACS1. That would be way better. Daisy chaining rocks. All right, what are you doing now, Aaron? Oh, he's on the other amp. He's on the Vox now. Can the current CBA MIDI box do it? Because I have the old one. I don't know what it's capable, but I still have the disaster area. The, you know,
but that gain
whatever the one I have.
Good.